Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. It's Monday. We made it through another week and it is Monday. It is time to look back at all the wonderful things that we have accomplished last week. It's a nice way of making Mondays fun and exciting and just reflecting on all the wonderful things that you do. And remember, one stitch counts. You don't have to make a ton. One stitch is progress, one stitch counts, and that's enough. So let me go ahead and start with what am I wearing? This sweater is called Brick. It is by Clare Lee. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. Let me pull this up. Yep, Clare Lee. Oh, come here. Here we go. It is a free pattern. It's just, I've made it multiple times. If you've been around and you've watched my channel more than once and you've seen me in different sweaters, I make a lot of them. Or at least I have. In 2024 was like the dam broke and I finished a lot of adult size garments. This one I did. I had 2 Caron cakes, less than 800 yards. Definitely did not think this was going to be a sweater for me. I was just making the largest I could possibly make with the yarn that I had. And it has negative ease. That's why it fits me. So there you have it. But you make it however you want to. It's a wonderful free pattern. I absolutely love this. I've made it multiple times. It's just a great blank template. You can do anything you want to it. I just did plain stockinette. I didn't do anything else to this. Made short sleeves because, again, I just had like 800 yards. And I'm happy with it. It's wonderful. You can add whatever you want to this blank template. Lace and cables and just whatever makes you happy. So if you're looking for a good, just straightforward pattern, you know, and I love the rounded neck, then this is a good one to try. I'll link this one down below. I didn't make it this week. It was just one of them that I made. Shall we look at some of the things that I have made this week? I look like a walking, talking Joann Fabrics advertisement this week. I really do. I don't get anything from Joann. I'm not an affiliate. I've never been an affiliate with Joann. I'm not against it, but I've never been, right? So we know Joann's been having some issues, but to me, the issues that they're having right now, I am just on the good news train as far as that's concerned. Michael from MDL, and I'll link him down below too, because he is an affiliate or was an affiliate before they canceled the program. They might bring it back on. You never know. He was commenting from sources that know. I'll link his video so you can hear it straight from him. But kind of what I was talking about. And I had no information. He does. That's why I'll link his video. Is yes, they're closing a lot of stores, most likely the lower performing stores. That 100% makes sense. And then they're going to regroup with what they have left and try to make a better product. Okay, so we might not have a store in our backyard any longer. We might not have, some states don't have Joann's in their state any longer once the liquidation goes through with those particular stores. But it means the online community is still there. It means we can still get our big twist yarn that a lot of us have fallen in love with. And you'll see with all the things that I worked on this week, I have definitely fallen in love with a lot of the big twist yarns. So to me, that is wonderful news. That is good news. And I don't look at it as 100%, oh my gosh, that's so sad. I'm not going to have any stores close to me anymore. Well, I've ordered from Hobby, and that's not even in my country. Right? I've ordered from Hobium, again, not in my country. A lot of people here have ordered from Ice, not in the United States, right? You know, and we do these online orders and we don't have a chance to go into the store or feel it. Like, I've ordered Premier yarns, things that I've not seen at Walmart, and you know, Joann and Walmart, they'll just have like puzzle, right? They don't have all the whole line. I've ordered Premier without being able to touch it and feel it firsthand. And Mary Maxim and Hirschner's, all online presence. So I think that Joann has a fantastic opportunity here to maybe fix some things that they had going wrong, pull back, cater to us crafters because we love it and we haven't lost our resource. So I have had hope the entire time and I'm absolutely thrilled with the news. Are we losing stores here in Colorado? Yes, we're losing 6 stores currently to include the one I normally go to. That's okay. I just have to drive farther or just do online ordering. And the other wonderful thing that we have going on for all of us, there's a lot of YouTube content creators and we gravitate towards whatever yarn makes us happy. And Joann has just been my favorite big box store yarn. So I show a lot of Joann yarns. I have Joann yarns that are economical, a little easier to access for a lot of us. And then I have the very bougie, high-end, expensive yarns that might not be so feasible for everyone. I like everything. I really do. I love yarn. So you're going to have people like me that are going to still pick things up and go, hey, check this out. And I'll still pick up the things. And if I'm buying it online, there's a chance I'm going to get some things I don't like. I'm going to tell you about it, right? And there's a good chance I'm going to get things that I love, and I'll tell you about those too. And I am not the only one who does that. So even if you don't have the store in your backyard, you'll still have resources to know what the stuff is about. And that's exciting, and that's good news. So enough about that. It just made me happy. So want to see what I got done this week? I got 2 projects done. Oh yeah, I did. I finished 2 projects. And for people who watch my YouTube channel every day, you'll notice on Sunday I didn't have a Start Something Sunday. I just did everything that I made in January. Gotta stick that somewhere. Well, one of the reasons I didn't do a Start Something Sunday is because I finished both projects I started this week. Okay, and I didn't really, I'm like, I don't need to start a third one. So the first one I finished, or it might have been the second one, I don't know, but one of them I finished is I've got the Bankhead hat. This is a free pattern. It is lovely. Now the ribbing is supposed to be like 3 inches. I lost track. It's more than 3 inches. And then you go into just this broken rib right here. And it is just so easy and so comfortable. And this yarn feels amazing. This is a 100-gram ball is what it started with. I have plenty left over. I have a scale around here somewhere. I have some left over. I don't know exactly how much. I'm gonna weigh it. I'm geeky like that. I love my scale. It's just a regular kitchen type scale, right? You know, no big deal. This is 39 grams left. So I have enough to do something with, maybe mix it with something else. Don't know, but I have 39 grams left. Here is my Bankhead beanie. And I first got familiar with this pattern when I was doing all the hats in November. I did like 21 hats in November because, you know, I'm crazy that way. And I was asking for, can I get some recommendations for male hats, unisex hats, maybe not so overtly feminine hats. And this one was top of the list, the Bankhead beanie. It is made by a ton of people. Absolutely fantastic. So I've got twisted rib here and then the regular stuff here. This yarn pulls out well, frogs well. It really does. I know that because I ended up, let me grab another one of these. What I did is I started to do the rib and I was just doing it knit 1, purl 1. And the pattern was knit through the back loop. So you have a twisted rib and then purl 1. And I wasn't going to do that in the beginning. I changed my mind. So I did frog it. I didn't have any issues with that. I haven't crocheted with it, but I have knit with it. This yarn is a Joann exclusive. Like I said, I'm going to be looking like a walking, talking Joann advertisement today. This is the KNC. Yeah, I have a sweater quantity of this, or at least I have 6 of them. I'm not sure if it's a sweater quantity, but it could be. It could. I could make it happen. This one is 100% superwash merino wool. I think this is like a Malabrigo Rios. It's very similar to that. It is a roving style yarn. This is 215 yards for the 100 grams. Now, Joann, KNC, they say this is a number 2. I do not agree with that. Whatever. I don't, right? You know, with what I was able to do, and this one I did with 6s and 7s on the needle size. I think that's a DK / worsted. It could work up as a DK or it could work up as a worsted depending on your pattern, and you choose the needle size. That's just my opinion. There you go. So I think that this one, it was in my local yarn store. I was able to get this from my local yarn store. And I think some of the Joann, the KNC yarns, they're on the upper end trying to compete with your local yarn stores because not everyone has a local yarn store anywhere near them, right? So it's trying to give you some of those higher end yarns, superwash merino wool. And I really do believe this is very similar to the Rios, but Rios is a worsted weight and it's the same yardage, right? You know, so I think that being that most of the time people got to see this online, when they saw the number 2, they're like, I don't want that. A lot of people don't like the smaller yarns. I love them, but a lot of people don't. And seeing that as a 2, and I'm not going to lie, when I saw it online at first and seeing it as a 2, I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that right now. I have a lot of yarns. We know this. And if I were wanting to get it to show everybody, well, most people, well, not necessarily most, but a lot of people are not interested in the smaller yarns. So I thought, okay, I'll pass on that. When I saw it in my store, I'm like, that's not a 2. that's when I wanted to get it. So that is one of the problems with the online. It's like, you just don't know. So that is one of their new lines. It is still available. Lovely. So got that done. Another one, my other finished project is, this is the Wildflower hat. This is a free hat pattern, but it goes along with the Alpine Bloom, which has just hit the knitting stratosphere everywhere. There's multiple sweaters, there's hats, there's cardigans, there's everything that uses this big motif right here. It is in everything. This is the Cloudpaca yarn. This is another K&C exclusive to Joann. Let me get the specs because that's all I got was the one ball of the black and one ball of the lavandula, I think is how you say it. It's lavender. Now, evidently that's like the botanist name and everything with that, and it falls under that. I'm good with that. I'm just not educated. So thank you everyone for helping me out with that. You don't know what you don't know. It just sounded like a made up word to me. Lavandula, that's what they call it. So these beautiful, big, fluffy donuts are 50 grams. That is it. They are so light, so airy. It is chain spun. It's worsted weight, 164 yards. And I am trying to get it to tell me all of its secrets. Tell me your secrets. It doesn't want to. Tell me what you're made of. So I remember it's like 58% alpaca. Okay, come on, open up. Tell me everything. So 50% baby alpaca, 14% merino wool, and 28% polyamide. Again, the K&C is trying to be similar to your local yarn store, especially for people who just don't have a local yarn store near them. And the prices are a lot better than your local yarn store. They're still high for a big box store. I'm not going to lie on that, but they're very, very competitive, read a lot cheaper than your local yarn store. So this right here, full price is $7.88 for 50 grams. You're like, that's expensive. Malabrigo's a lot more, just saying. So absolutely wonderful, very light, very airy. Where did I do with the hat? Loving this. I want to make a sweater with this. I ordered the yarn. Now I'm hoping I get it. You know how that goes. So the black that I ordered has shipped. The red I ordered has shipped. The lavender, the mint, and then that white, snowball white, or I don't know what color it is. It's out of stock now, so I'm hoping I get it. I hope I get it. You know how that goes. Okay, what is it? Whipped cream. So the whipped cream is now out of stock. I do have, it's a white. We know what white looks like. It's a white cream, whatever. So I do have those. They're on order. They said they were waiting to be picked up. I ordered that, and it's just been in that status since Valentine's Day, since Friday. So I'm really hoping that I get that because that's the color I want. I want the sweater. I want the sweater. So much so, I bought the sweater pattern. You're like, what sweater pattern did you buy? I will show you. I don't have it queued up. Why would I have it queued up? That's just crazy talk. But I'm going to show you because, well, that's just how that works, right? We share things. That's why you're here. I share my stuff and you share your stuff because you give me comments down below and you tell me what you're up to. And I think that's awesome. All right, so the pattern that I'm looking at is called the Bloom Pullover. This designer designed this sweater using this yarn. Hello, that's perfect. And I love it. So this is by Brianna Mason. It is a paid for pattern. It's $8. I just bought a copy for myself. Look at that. I have to make it. I have to make that. Look at that. And you're like, well, that's just kind of plain colors. I know that one is, but it's that yarn. It's that exact yarn. And the really cool thing, because, you know, I'm geeky like that, I already know how gorgeous this is going to look because another young lady test knit this thing and she used the same color. Look at that. I have to do it. There you go, right? Yes, I have to. So I'm going to do that when I get the yarn in. That's going to be my next big project that I start. Yeah. So those are my two finished projects that I got done. Everything else I got working on. And the cool thing is there's a lot of things that are getting closer, which means I'm going to end up having like an explosion of finished projects. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So let me show you some of those. So here's the Timeless Baby Crochet, Textured Timeless Baby Crochet book. This thing is fabulous. I have made multiple things with this, and there's been a lot of people that follow that have purchased a copy of this book themselves, Again, I'm not affiliated. I just tell you the cool things that I find and I like. And you're making wonderful, beautiful things also. So that's what I'm working on right now. I have this sweater right here. This is the Heavenly sweater. This is my second skein of, oh wait, it's Big Twist yarn. I know, crazy. This is the Big Twist Menagerie. This is the Sunbeam Snake. It is 150 grams, 410 yards, 100% acrylic, number 3 lightweight, and machine wash cold, do not bleach, dry flat, do not iron, do not dry clean. I have no idea if you can actually throw this in the dryer. All of Joann yarns pretty much say don't throw in the dryer, even when they're 100% acrylic, and I don't understand that. Now this, don't do that. Don't, no. This is going to be a hand wash, lay flat. I mean, that's got too many fibers in it that'll just do weird things. So here I am with the Heavenly sweater, and I'm thrilled with this. I was here last time I showed it. I was right here. So I got quite a bit done. I flared out the bottom a little bit, and this one I'm using, I think either an E or an F hook. Now I can't remember, which is, oh, an F hook. I think I'm using an F hook on this one, and I just need sleeves. And here's my second skein of this. I've gone through, I'd finished up to about there. I think that's where the first skein was, or where's my end at in there? Well, did I really weave it in? Crazy. I don't feel it. Wow. I did all the finishing along the way. Awesome. That's awesome. That's amazing. So we know how that goes. When you're done, you're done. You don't have to deal with ends again. So that's this one right here. And this is my second time making this. I am working on this one, making what they say is the size 3 to 4 year old. I'm making it larger, of course. I'm using this yarn size F, and I'm making it longer. And I made a smaller one previously and gave it to my 2-year-old granddaughter. And the 8-year-old was able to try it on, obviously way tight. I mean, way tight. But it gave me a good idea as to how much more I would have to increase it. And that's what I did. I'm making this with larger needles. I'm also being a little more relaxed with it. Crochet hook. And I'm obviously making a whole lot longer. So here I go, onto the sleeves. So that's what I mean by I'm getting closer to getting things completed. So it's going to be an explosion. That's my way. So here we go. And that is the brand new Big Twist Menagerie. I really like that yarn. I have worked through knitting a full skein. Didn't work on it this week, so I'll show it on another week. But knitting a full skein of that. Crocheting, that is a 1.5 skeins of the Menagerie. I've had no issues with it. I like the way that it feels. It looks great in both knitting and crochet. So I've been very happy with the yarn and really happy that I ordered what I did. The colors that I was interested in, I ended up getting 4 each of, and I've determined for my size, I think 3 of them would be enough to make a sweater like what I have on. You know, nothing really fancy, nothing, you know, what have you, but it should be plenty, and I'm an XL. So that's exciting. And I got 4 of each because I didn't know that. And being that we weren't sure what Joann was going to do, I wanted to make sure that I had enough to do a sweater quantity in all the colors I liked. That doesn't mean I will do a sweater in all the colors I like. I just want options, right? So there's options. So that's what I did. And then the other one, this one I am excited about. This is one of the reasons that I fell in love with this book for so many reasons. I mean, they're just great. But this romper is amazing. Look at that. I have to do the romper. And I haven't done it. I mean, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects, 6, because I made 2 of the booties. I have made things, 6 projects out of this book. And what was the thing that excited me the most was the romper. So how did I get 6 projects either finished or on the hooks prior to even starting the romper? I have no idea, but it happened. So I have the romper started. It is not finished currently, but it is so close. And I have the hook in with it, so I move the hook out. So this is an F hook. I'm using, I got blue yarn stuck to it. Stuck, go away. I'm using the Big Twist Sturdy Cotton. It's another one of their new yarns, and making the romper. The Sturdy Cotton is 100 grams, 3.5 ounces, is 229 yards. It's a 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. They say it's a number 4 worsted weight yarn. They recommend a size 6 on the knitting needles or an E on the crochet hook. I'm using an F on the crochet hook. for this. And I like the way that the fabric feels. I think if I were to use an E, it'd definitely be sturdy. And I don't want that because it's a garment. Look at this. So I am working on the straps right now. When I get both of these straps done and hooked on the back where they belong, then it's just the weaving in the ends, finishing up as far, and get buttons for the bottom. But this right here, look at that. Look at the amazing texture in this thing and the stitch definition. I'm gonna just cover the whole screen. There we go. But that is stunning. And this is just gives me such German vibes with the strap right here. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. This yarn has stitch definition galore. Look at that. I mean, look at how that is stunning. And you can even see right here, you have the front post and the back post for that ribbing for the waistline and all of the bobbles. And look at the amazing, let me try to line those up, line it up. The amazing ribbing down here. That is fantastic. And what you do is, let me fold this. I need buttons. Of course I need buttons. And this gets folded like that and everything. You have the 2 buttons right here. 2 buttons go there. This gets folded up. It is stunning. I'm in love with this. So I am like this close. I am so close to getting this done. Just got a little bit more on the strap, and then to do the strap and tack everything down, weave in all the ends, add some buttons, and voila, yet another baby project. What? Using big twist yarn again? I know, it's crazy. I went way crazy on all the big twist yarns, and the only thing I can say right now is I am totally thrilled as I look around me, and then as you see everything that I'm showing this week, I'm using it. That is exciting. So I didn't just get it because it's like, oh, panic buying, I can't get it again, buy it all now. I'm making things with it, things that I wanted to make, things that I'm enjoying. And it's giving me the idea of what else can I do with this yarn? Do I like it? Do I not like it? Did I make a mistake in purchasing it? Truthfully, I like everything I bought. I would tell you otherwise. I really would. I like all the stuff that I bought for the purposes that I've purchased it for. No doubt. I'm thrilled. And I got a lot of it. So this is gorgeous. So the sturdy cotton comes in a plethora of colors. I have no idea how many colors. It's a lot of colors. I just got that because I thought it was a good neutral for the romper, and that's why I got it. And I only bought the 2 balls of it. That's it. And that will be enough for me to make what I wanted to make. I didn't go overboard because, again, just the 2 balls. And it was enough to show you what it was and to give a review of, do I like it or do I not like it? I kind of thought I would. And I wouldn't have bought it except Erin from Crafting Kitty had purchased it before all the panic buying, right? Before all the stuff came out. It was just brand new. And she commented that it's like a wearable cotton. It's not your kitchen cotton, even though the name Sturdy Cotton will lead you to believe that. I know I believed it. There's over 24 colors. Yeah. And it's on sale right now it's 33 options. There's 33 colors in this, and they've got some fantastic colors. They've got hot pink, they've got chartreuse, and yellows and greens and limes. 33 colors. There's a lot of colors in this particular line. So, and right now it's saying online only deal for $2.99. That is right there. And I am filming this on the 16th of February, so it'll be ready at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday. So there you go, right? The 17th, President's Day. That's right, President's Day. There you go. I have to work. I am not a government federal employee any longer, so I do not have that off as a holiday. So I will be at work today. So that's those. What else? I have more. Oh, the Hippo Lovey. I'm working on my Hippo Lovey. Oh, what? Another big twist yarn? I know, crazy. So here is the mandala portion. This is the center of the lovey. And you know, if you decided you wanted to make something like this, it's a paid for pattern, right? Again, not affiliated, just love it. So this is by Ellen Nyström right here. So that's an amigurumi head and 4 legs, right? Amigurumi head, whatever it is, and then 4 legs. So I had some people comment, oh my gosh, I want to make it as a fox. That would be amazing. That would be so stunning as a fox. We all have, well, I have a large collection of amigurumi pattern books. You could swap out heads Just saying. You could swap out heads, make the same doily type center, make a doily of your own. Pick a doily that you already have. It doesn't matter. Or just get this one. It's cool. This one has 19 rounds for the actual doily portion, and there's a picture per round. And some of the rounds have more than one picture, so you can see what's going on. It took me a little bit on the way the patterns are written, because it'll have a 2 and then an arrow going up like this, and that means increase. Okay. Or a 2 and an arrow going down like that, and it means decrease, right? 1 stitch. So it took me a little bit to understand that's what the author was meaning. Okay, I got it, but you also have the pictures and everything else, so you can do it. But 19 rounds creates this gorgeous, dimensional, beautiful little mandala doily thing. So even if you decide I don't want to do the amigurumi heads, that's what it gets me, is all the amigurumi parts. I love them. I absolutely love all the stuffed things. I've made all of these. I made Layla the head. I did not make the robot. Okay. The robot was Elaine from Penguin Place Crafts. I bought it from her Etsy shop. So, you know, and then this one was from Justine. She watches my channel, and I went to a physical craft show at Christmas time and got that from her. But, you know, all this other stuffed critters and stuff, I made all that. I like them. I do. But if I don't just finish them right then, there's a chance they'll end up like Layla. And she's been ahead for a decade. Literally a decade. It's going on more than that. But whatever. We'll just keep her at a decade, right? She will be forever young. And that's just how that goes. So I'm working on it. What did I do with my head? Did I lose my head? No, here's my head. So I have the head. I have the head. And I have, where do my little legs go? And I have legs. And as we discussed, they don't get shown together, because I did that. I held them up together, and that doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. So here's my little legs. We're going to just hold them separate. They don't get to hang out together. Just saying. They look a little naughty. So here's my legs. I have 2 of them. I have one other one started, and I had to get into another skein of yarn to start that. So my my gray yarn is downstairs, and I've started that. So I got all of this, the head, 2 legs, and the start of a 3rd leg from the one ball of the Big Twist Baby Bunny. This is the Big Twist Baby Bunny. It is 100 grams, 284 yards. This is a #1 super fine yarn. Crocheting this with a size C crochet hook. I'm loving it. I had some snagging issues when I was doing a lot of the dimensional stitches, doing the back post double crochets where I had it the most, but my crochet hook, my size C crochet hook on this part right here is very sharp. So it could be a combination that it's a prone to splitty yarn and I had a very sharp hook. I don't know. Just wanted to give that to you, as that was my experience. I wouldn't not use the yarn. I'm loving the yarn. You guys all encouraged me. You did. I asked you to talk me down. You know, I just had those. I had some of the neutral colors, and you talked me into getting the lavender, and I couldn't just leave the lavender and not get the yellow and the pink. So I got the yellow and the pink. They were at my local store. My local store did not have the mint green in person, or I would have gotten that too. I blame it totally on springtime. Mint green is not normally my thing, but I want the mint green. I ordered mint green in this. I want the mint green in this. I don't have it yet, but I want it. So if it comes in my local store, there you go. But again, my local store is slated for liquidation, so it won't be in that store. I'll have to drive a ways. There are some within my state, like 30 some odd miles, but the opposite direction of home is all I'm saying. Like, oh, you know, if it's not between home and work, maybe it's a couple miles out of the way. I'm like, I'm home. I'd rather be at home with my hubby playing with my crafts. Just saying. So there's that. Loving it. So it's grown. I'm doing it. I'm making the parts and the pieces. So it's exciting. There's a chance it'll get done. And again, even if it doesn't, this is a beautiful doily. Put that under a plant, you're good. It's beautiful, right? You know, some flowers on it, gorgeous. Just great place setting. It's pretty the way it is. And I still want to see what it looks like and like, how big is that in worsted weight yarn? I know I was asked how big mine is. I don't know. I don't have a measuring tape right here, which is crazy. I have lots of measuring tapes, but if it's here, it's buried. And if I try to get to it, I'm going to knock things off my little desk area. So I'm going to leave that alone. So I got to measure that because I was asked how big this is so I can compare it to the worsted weight. Yeah. All right, so I did work on more stuff. I have a book over here that has my listing. I do have a book. Oh, here. I know. I'm just going to continue. So you got to see these earlier in the week. This is my Nature's Walk blanket. These are, oh wait, what? Big Twist sock yarn? Yes, it is. 100 grams, 75% wool, 25% polyamide, 100 grams, 437 yards, and they come in great colors. And I know that doing the Nature's Walk blanket, that looks naughty too. Doing the Nature's Walk blanket with all of these colors, they're yelling at each other because there's 12 different patterns on that. Nature's Walk has 6 patterns for free, 6 blocks in their regular edition. And you can get the bonus pack, which I did, which gives you 6 more blocks. That's all. You don't have to, but you can. And if you're interested and you don't know if you want to do it or not, I highly encourage you to go out and look at the free one, the 6 blocks that are free, read through them, maybe make a square or two. If you like it, cool. If you don't, you haven't lost any money. That's how that works. So I had these. Yeah, I played with my blocking board. All right, so I have those, 12 of them here. And then I started working, I continued, and I have more. So these are my Big Twist yarn, right? So that's some more of the, value yarn. I don't have a full skein of it up here. It's downstairs. This was a random skein of something that was in one of my other boxes that I got as a gift in my mystery yarn challenge that Lori from the Yarn Chair Shop was hosting about a year ago. So made some blocks with this. I don't know what this is. It's a little thicker. These worked up bigger. I'm blocking these. So this is about the size of my block squares. So when I lay it out to block it, I'm not going to stretch it. That's all. I'll still pin it to the same measurements as this one, as all these others, but I just won't stretch the ever-loving dickens out of it like I did these. So I do have those 12 and I've got more. So working on my blocks, really happy with that it's growing. What I enjoy about the Nature's Walk pattern and the fact that I'm making literally 2 fingering weight blankets is crazy. But what I really like about that is they're only 8 rounds. So I can do that in between. Like I went out and I hung out with one of my girlfriends earlier today. Very, very enjoyable. This is something that I've been taking with me. Every time we meet up, I'll take this, a ball of sock yarn, and just work with whatever it is that I have at hand. My size C crochet hook, and I'll just whip out a square or 2. I got 2.5 done in our visit. Why not? We're out, we're eating, we're at a restaurant, enjoying ourselves. We might as well make use of time as we're chatting, just like I would in a regular knitting circle. So I know it's crochet, but I refer to it as a knitting circle. It is. It's like generic. So that is the Nature's Walk blanket. Totally thrilled. And yeah, I'm throwing in some leftovers. I'm going to go through some of my other things, and I've got the Big Twist yarn and then some of my other leftovers and just adding other colors because truthfully, none of my colors match. So I might as well have fun with them. It's going to be a beautiful blanket. It's my story. So I've got quite a bit done and happy with that. I think at minimum, I need at least 63 squares. I'm not sure how many I have, but it's growing. So we have that. The other blanket that I'm working on with fingering weight yarn, I'm using the squares that I got last year from Anne Regourd. She put out 52 squares, 1 a week last year, in year 2024. And for the first week of each square, they were free. I downloaded every single one. I saved in my library and I downloaded them. And I've made a couple. Well, I made quite a few. Last year I made quite a few in the worsted weight. Now I'm using the Tangled Poent Advent calendar that I got because these things are 30 grams. These are 30 grams each and they're in a fade. I'm doing them in whatever color. I'm not doing them in the fade order. It doesn't matter. There's 24 of them. I'm going to make all 24 squares and then I'll put it together with something else because I love the 100 gram skein that I got in here, but it's a variegated, which is beautiful, but I would rather another solid to go with putting these together because they're all like a kettled semi-solid. So this is square 52. I blocked the ever-loving life out of this thing. It is gorgeous. Love it. Absolutely love it. And it's very similar, let's see, to, I don't know what number this one was. Was this 49, 48? I don't know. So this is the last one that I made. So you can see just how gorgeous these are blocked. And look at this one again. This yellow. Oh my gosh, this light yellow. Look at, isn't that stunning? That's backwards. You're like, how can I tell? I can. There you go. But look at that. And I'm going to have 24 of these squares, just each one of them different. Maybe I'll do some of them the same. Oh yeah, those are quite different. Maybe I'll do some of them the same, some different. I don't know. But when they're blocked, they open up, they bloom, they are stunning. And they're like 12 to 13 inches. So I'm going to do 4 by 6 because I have 24 little 30-gram hanks. So it'll be as big as it is. And then I'll use a skein of something else to attach them together. And I am loving this. And I really like the fact that the yarn, I'm using all of the yarn. I shorted the rounds because each one is supposed to have 3 rounds of garter, and I'm putting 2 rounds of garter because the different squares are going to take a little bit different yarn usage. So I've got that much. I wouldn't have had enough to go around with this at all to do the 3rd garter, right? That's just how that works. And then this one, you can see I definitely wouldn't have. So I made the right call. So I'm going to have kind of, you know, a little bit, but I mean, just like scrap bits left of each ball. Hopefully. I hope I don't get anything closer than that, right? That's a little nerve-wracking because I have what I have. And again, each square is going to take roughly around the same amount. I have about 135 yards in each of my minis. And I think the pattern calls for that, like 130 or something like that. So it's like, ooh, we're right on the edge. Love it. I'm thrilled to make that. And I'm really happy that I'm working with it. I didn't just get the advent calendar and decide, okay, now what are we going to do with it? It's my first time getting one. So the fact that I'm making something really makes me happy. And 1 a week on this is what I'm doing right now, is 1 a week. We'll see how, we know how that goes, you know, as other things come in. But 24 weeks, you know, 6 months, pretty much 6 months. There you go. I should have a blanket, and that's fantastic. And then that should also give me enough time to know that I've done my blanket and still give me that leeway. And I can order another one for next year because I told myself with the minis, because that's not normally my forte, I wanted to use this before purchasing another. And I think this is a good value for the whole surprise factor. Everything else you get, well, I have no idea what they're going to do next year. I'm not affiliated with Aberdeen Wools. But this particular one, you had 30-gram minis and then a 100-gram hank. And looking at this dollar-wise compared to a lot of the other calendars, this was a bargain, right? That's, you know, but your mileage may vary on what that is. I thought it was fantastic. And if I'm looking at getting another one, this is definitely a high contender. So there we have it on that one. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So, I might as well do, I'm on Tangled Poet. I might as well do another Tangled Poet, right? So another one of mine, these last 3, I've got the blanket squares. This is just going to be weekly as I continue to get them blocked and I continue to work on squares, right? This one is just going to continue to be weekly until I get through my entire Tangled Poet calendar and showing all of the different beautiful squares. Another one, surprisingly enough, or not so surprisingly, from Aberdeen Wools, it is my Tangled Poet the Faded Glass Infinity Cowl. And I am so happy that I decided to keep the colors in their actual order. You know, I'm a little weird sometimes, and my first thing is I'm going to mix them. I was going to mix them up. I'm happy I didn't. I think this is stunning, and I'm going through just one of these little mini hanks a week. That's it. I got one of these things a week, and there you have it. And I'm loving that. So here we go, right? Just, it makes me so happy. I have, each week I come up and everything, and it's like, here's my new ball of yarn that's attached because you faded in. So, you know, I've got a couple rows of this right here before I cut out the last round. But look at that. I've added the blues in there. I mean, how stunning is this? That looks amazing. So I don't think I'm half done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I guess this is half. It's half? Am I really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is half. That's half. Because there's 14. The kit came with 14 of these pretty little minis, right? And then I had the ball of the Broco Ultra Wool Fine 100% superwash wool. And these are the Tangled Poet minis. I think about 35 yards, don't remember, but along with the pattern. Loving that. I got one for myself and I got one for two of my friends, and we started these on the 1st of January. This was our cast on party, and I've just stuck with doing the one color a week, and it's just such a nice joy. It's relaxing. It's beautiful to see that blocks coming there. Could I do more? Sure, but I don't want to rush it. I'm savoring this project. That's a good way to put it. It's just been lovely to be able to work with that. And this is the beautiful color that I will be working on this week. And then I think it's this one that comes next. So fading in this one next. So next week I'll have this one balled up, right? And that block will be done. But it's just been lovely to do that. And I like the pattern. It's very easy. Relaxing to work through, and I like the results. It's just stunning. So this is a tube. I have a provisional cast on right here. It is a tube. So once it's done, then it's going to get sewn. I'll take the live stitches here and the live stitches on both sides and graft them together. There you go. But look at that. So it's going to be this big cowl right here. And you know, if you bought the kit, they're not in stock right now, but I did talk with them and they're going to try to get them in stock again. But if you were to buy that and you wanted just a smaller cowl, you could make this as 2 cowls. I mean, look at that. That's what it would be right there. And then you would have the 2 color palettes. So it is an option. So I'm going to continue making this as long as it's supposed to be, but there's nothing that says you couldn't do it just like that and wear it. Not anything at all. And it would be stunning. And you could make one for yourself and one for your friend, and you have one end of the spectrum and they have the other end of the spectrum. I think it would be a lot of fun. So there's that. Those are my longer term weekly Advent-ish projects, since I'm just doing a little bit each time. So it's kind of like an Advent. I mean, this is like an Advent, just one ball a week. There you go. Just like an Advent. I don't know what I'm counting down to, but or counting up to, I don't know, counting up to a full cowl or down to a full cowl. I'm not really sure which way we're going, but we have one. So there's that. And so here's the thing. I've been doing a series called Tackle It. It's my Tuesday episodes. And I wanted to ask, do I show the progress that I've done on any of the projects on Monday? Because Monday is my, here's everything that I've done, you know, or do I hold it on Tuesday? I don't know. So help me down below what I should do. I'm going to go ahead and show you my progress right now, but you guys can tell me, should I hold those off and just maybe show the finished projects that I've gotten finished from Tuesday stuff on Monday? I don't know. Anyway, I'm overthinking it. So I'm losing stitches. No, don't lose stitches. Bad. All right. So this is one of the sweaters that I found in my box. And this sweater I started a decade ago. Yeah. And what I've commented about is if you don't pull your project out, there's a chance you could get it finished. You're like, oh, I'll never finish that. I don't know. I found this in a box and I started a decade ago and I'm working on it. It's going to get done. So this sweater is called Miranda. This is a paid for pattern. My ball of yarn right here. Ooh, look, I had to ball up a new ball of yarn. That means I worked on it. That's what that means. I'm trying to get it to the front. Okay. So here we go. I have a full, complete sleeve, and I started the other sleeve, and I had to wind up a ball of yarn. Let me pull up the pattern so I can show you what it's supposed to look like in a solid color, because I don't always follow the rules. I just don't. And I knew this when I started this. This is not the best yarn for this pattern, just because you can't really see the design so well. But I didn't really care, because I don't have to follow the rules. So there. That's my attitude. Let's see. Patterns. Come on. Come on. Find Miranda. Miranda sweater. She's cute. So on the Miranda sweater, there are options. And I love that. I love the fact that there are options. So the pattern shows this short sleeve. That ain't happening. Miranda by Josie Paquin. So the pattern shows this beautiful design. It's got short sleeve. It has a kangaroo pouch on it, and it has a hood. So you can make long sleeves. Hello, that's what I did. And everything else is optional. Now, of course, I want all the things. I have a finite amount of yarn. I think I bought enough yarn a decade ago. I don't know. I don't remember what was 100% going through my head back then. I mean, hello, it's been a decade, right? I slept since then. So I have one full ball of yarn that's not wound, and I have this. The sleeve took me almost a full ball. It did. I've got, where is it at? I've got it right here. Here we go. So here's what I have from the first sleeve. So I do have some left, right? I will use it, right? I definitely have some left. So I have that sleeve done, happy with that. And I started on the second sleeve. And I started to do, when I grabbed it out of the bin, as I started to work on that waist shaping, or not waist shaping, but working on the length of the sweater, because right now it's a belly shirt and I do not wear belly shirts, not intentionally. If it's a belly shirt, it's going to somebody else, right? Long past that time period. And didn't wear it when I was younger either. So on this one, I started to do the under layer, if you want to call it that, because it has that pouch on it. And I'm prepping to do that kangaroo pouch right here. So you just do straight knit down, and then you come back and you pick up the stitches and do the kangaroo pouch and everything and attach it at the bottom. I understand the concept. I've done that type of thing before, but I'm not 100% sure at this moment if I really do want to put the kangaroo pouch on it or not. So I stopped working on the length, I put it on holders and went to the sleeves because that's what you guys recommended, and you're brilliant, and it's right. Because I don't necessarily like to do the sleeves. I get bored at the sleeve part. I don't know why, I just regular, get all excited to make something and I want to work on something else. So the fact that after a decade, I'm here and I have, this didn't have any sleeves on it at all. So found this. The pink yarn is just where I did all of my increases. That's what I use as a marker. Doesn't matter what color, but that's just pink, so I can see it. So that's my marker right there, decreased down. That's my ball of yarn in there. Decreased down. It is long enough. I have very long arms, and I made it to where it actually goes down to here. Yes. And I have enough yarn. If I, put it back on and I decide it's not long enough, I'm gonna add a couple more rounds. I want them to be long enough. And then now that I finished that, look at this. That's how much I got on the second sleeve. That is awesome. I like the way that this is working up. I wound the full ball so where I didn't have any ends in this sleeve. I'll just finish it all the way out and then figure out what my next piece is. So here's to my decade plus sweater. Amazing. So just think about that. If you have something that's been languishing, you can still pick it up. If you haven't pulled it out, you can still finish it if you choose to. And if it doesn't bring you any joy in any way, shape, or form, don't be sad about ripping it out, because it brought you joy at one time. And even if you rip it out, it doesn't diminish the joy it originally brought you. So it's not a waste. It's not anything bad. It still brought you joy, right? Don't let it take that joy away by sitting in a corner and talking to you. You know what I mean, that negative talk. You don't need that in your life. So there's that. Totally thrilled with that. And let's see. Here's my other pieces of yarn. Pieces and parts. Lots and lots of pieces and parts. And I'm going to look at my little list to make sure, because we're going to show my husband's sweater last. We know we want to see his. So the blanket, the romper, that, Miranda. Oh, yeah, I got another one before hubby's sweater. So I did work on this also. This is another thing that I found stuffed in my boxes. Box like this. Come back tomorrow. We're going to come in this one. We're going to look in this one, see what else we can find. But this is called the bias scarf. Bias something. And I have this. And it was just to the point where I should be binding off. I have this one here. This color, right? And I've got this one. So I have these two scarves. And it's at that bind off part or what have you. Well, I have a lot of yarn left, so I decided I don't want to bind off yet. I want to make it longer like the brown one, because the brown one I used all the yarn that I had. So after 6-7 years, something like that, look, that's how much I made. So I am making progress. I have gotten it larger. Look how sheer that is. Look how gorgeous that is. That is stunning. That's just going to be so lightweight and so amazing. And just look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I love that color. It's just beautiful. And I did pick up the beads to work on my stuff. So really thrilled with that. And here is the brown one that I have. Well, it's multicolored. And look at that. Again, isn't that just stunning? Just gorgeous. I mean, just how amazing is that? It just, you know, I mean, obviously wear it any way you want to, but these are gorgeous. And the whole thing that kept me from finishing it is the bind off has beads on it. And it was, well, how do I do that? What do I do? I don't know. Then I got to block it and I got to do whatever. And you know what? I just grabbed a crochet hook, a little tiny microscopic crochet hook, by the way. And look at that. Can you see some beads on there? I put some beads on there. Is it exactly like the pattern? I don't know. Don't really care. I got some beads on there and I bound it off and it's not going to ravel. Yay. Now, this is one that I need some blocking wires, really. I've got my blocking board, but this is huge, right? It needs to be blocked within, you know, like ever loving, you know, hair's breadth of its life to get that to lay flat. Those are those amber beads that I got. Beautiful. So I got those on both ends, which is fantastic. No rhyme or reason, but I got them on there. They add a little bit of weight, they add a little bit of whatever, and now I just have to block this. So this one is currently longer than this one. I used all the yarn on this one, what I had. Beautiful. And so thrilled that I have that off the needles. Now I just have to, like I said, I have to do the finishing part. I have to block it. So I was thinking maybe I would wait to block it until I got this one ready and I have more yarn. It doesn't look like much. That's a lot. In lace knitting world, that's a lot. That is a lot of yarn. And I'm thrilled. Look at that. After, you know, so long, there you go. That one has its beads. It's ready to be blocked. This one is growing. And when it's the same size as that one, or I finish the yarn, whichever's first, I'll go ahead and put beads on it and on both ends. This was the provisional cast on, just like that one was. So I will take that yarn off and put all of those stitches on a needle, and then I'll cast it off with a bunch of beads. Yeah, there you have it. So here's to picking up old things and finishing them. And they just needed their time. That's, you know, I've always loved it. It's stunning. I mean, this is just gorgeous. Can you imagine wearing this? Oh my gosh, I want to wear this. So it just needed its time. It just needed to marinate for a little while longer, just like my decade-old sweater, just like all the other projects that I've been able to find in these bins, and just start working on them. And now, granted, I have pulled a couple out, but I think I've worked on a few more. And I have some packages to send out. Yeah. You know, as far as that goes, to get some other projects complete. But here we go. That is my lace scarf. Thrilled with the project on that. So now it's time to bring up hubby's sweater. Yeah, I worked on it. Oh, there we go. So this is my husband's sweater. This is made in the Arcane Fiberworks yarn, fingering weight yarn. I currently have 4 full hanks of the Rising, or Phoenix Rising, which is the red and yellow, what have you, the main color of the sweater. I have 4 full skeins into this. And then I am bordering it with the charcoal. Charcoal you can still get. The Phoenix Rising, I believe, is a discontinued color. Might not be. But Tyler, he's the yarn dyeing creative genius behind Arcane Fiberworks, a company in Canada. If they don't have this color, I'm sure he has another one that will make you swoon. They are amazing. I have quite the collection of his yarn. So here we go. This is hubby's sweater. I have 4 full 100-gram skeins in fingering weight yarn on size 4 needles in this thing. It is stunning. And I did some finishing work. I sewed up the armhole, right? So right there, that's where you had like, I had like 6 or 8 stitches, I think, right there that needed to be grafted together. So I did that. And I did a lot of the weaving in of ends. I don't have all of them, but the majority of them are. So I don't have any ends hanging out the cuffs, no more ends hanging out the waistband. There's a few that still need to be dealt with, but the majority of them. So I started doing finishing work on it also. So What's the significance of me getting 4 full skeins done? I bought 5. So I got this done, and then it's like, all right, well, oh, the blue safety pin is where I was last week. See, and that was where I was the previous week. So I did more, right? I did quite a bit more. See, there you go. Yeah, happy. Yeah, these are pushing 300 stitches per round. I'm just saying, or per row. Has a lot of stitches there. Again, fingering weight, size 4s. So I finished my 4 balls of yarn. All right, I knew I had 5. I had wound up. Remember, do you remember? This thing has 3 sleeves. My husband doesn't have 3 arms, but this thing has 3 sleeves. He didn't like the way that the yellow was flashing. You look at the body and it's almost like an orange because the yellow and the red are just going back and forth, you know, one row. So you don't have a bunch of the yellow stacking on top of itself or the red stacking on top of itself. This pink thing is a try-on cord. I had him try it on earlier. And the flashing is like this right here. You've got bright yellow, right? And then bright red. But the rest of it I did pretty well with staggering the 2 skeins of yarn to where you didn't have that. If it was flashing throughout the body, I don't think he would mind as much, but the body itself was just so beautifully melded. He didn't like the flashing. So I had that. Where'd I put it? Did I lose it again? Maybe. Well, I have to put, oh, there it is. I found it. So I was in here trying to find where did I set that sleeve? Yeah, that's a problem, right? I found it. I did. You know, yeah, I did. So I remember I started a hat with it, and that is with, where'd my little pattern go? With that right there. I was using that chart to make a hat, right? And this is the Alice Starmore Charts for Colored Knitting, new and expanded edition. Now, if you're doing color work and you're crocheting with color work, you're doing Tunisian with color work, you're doing weaving with color work, it's a chart. It doesn't matter what book you grab. It's a chart. Matter of fact, I got this that Laura, Mad Mimi's Crochet and Farming sent me. This is the Hooktionary book, and this is showing you all the different ways of crocheting with what? A graph? Imagine that. And what it looks like. Now, there's multiple different ways to see graphs, right? So charts don't care. So I can use all of these charts with the same instructions on this crochet book, right? Charts don't care. So I was making hats, and that particular pattern, I loved it. I'm not going to lie. I just thought it was fabulous. So I made 2 hats over Christmas. One went to my older son, one went to his wife. And then my middle guy, he wanted one, but he wants it lined. So I'm like, oh, that color with the charcoal would be fabulous with that design. So I started it. And then people who are wiser than me are like, yeah, are you sure you want to start something with that yarn before you know you have enough for hubby's sweater? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm throwing caution to wind. I'm going for it. Well, I heard those little voices kind of in my head, and I put it on pause and put it away. And then it was under stuff. I found it, but it was under stuff. I was in panic mode earlier. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm ready for that 5th skein of yarn. Where's it at, right? And even if Tyler had more of it and he was dyeing more, if I were to get another skein right now, if this was in his inventory, it would not be the same because hand dyed is just unique. It just is. And it would look a little different. You would have different dye lots, different. I mean, it just wouldn't match, right? So even when I get them at the same time, they don't always match 100% because it's a human process. If you've ever gone online and you look, there's a YouTube channel. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got Facebook. He shows some shorts on how he's dyeing yarn, and he has some like 15-minute videos. You can see why it's not going to match up. It just, that's the whole uniqueness of hand-dyed stuff. It's quite the process. So I put it in this little Merry Christmas bag, thankfully, and I found the bag, thankfully. So, yay, I have enough. I do have enough to work on that. And then my sweater. Come here. I'm going to unravel that. Look at this. See? I wasn't joking. And this is what I mean by that flashing right there. That's what my husband didn't want. There's still that same pink thread. That's where I did my increases. But he didn't like that color. He was okay with it right until about there. And then that right there was just way too much. He's like, it looks like somebody got shot and he's bleeding. I don't know. So he didn't want this sleeve. So I had to make a 3rd sleeve. That's why his sweater took so long. I did start pulling out his sleeve and whatever. I'll get to it when I get to it. So I have both ends of this yarn currently being used. Yeah, this is Madrona, Haiku Madrona. This is a fingering weight yarn. 30% baby alpaca, 30% merino wool, 20% bamboo viscose, 20% nylon, 100 grams, 402 yards. And I am pairing that with my beautiful Phoenix Rising for what I've got for the sweater. Everything else, look at that. So it's kind of an interesting one. You've got not 100% as solid with that color. It's striping with that, which you've got a smaller circumference than what I had with the sweater. And it's stacking on itself right here. You've got that flashing with the yellow, but again, it's color work, so it's a little bit different. You've got the different colors on the back side, right? You got your flashing with the red here, and then the flashing with the yellow there. And since this yarn has the charcoaly black bits in it, those disappear on here. So it looks like it's not solid on the pattern. So it's not showing up as bright as I was expecting, but it's showing up exactly as it's supposed to. Let me get those stitches back. And what I did with this is lined. So I picked this up earlier today and it was not connected. I had to put like 4 or 5 more rounds on it. And then I knit this side to this side, and now I am just on, now you can see I've got right here with the stranding on the color work. So it should go a little bit quicker now. And once I finish the hat or I decide to cut my yarn, either one, I can continue working on hubby's sweater, because I do have enough of this to work on his sweater. Let me see, where am I coming from on this? I don't know. A hot mess. All right, so this one, my hat is coming from the outside of the ball, and the sleeve was coming from inside of the ball. I got this big old mess. I know, but it's okay. And, you know, I'm working on it. Now, if I don't get this worked on right quickly, I'll just cut the yarn and end up having to just have an extra end to weave in. Not a big deal. But I prefer not to. I might just go ahead and do that because I'd like to get his sweater done. It's gorgeous. He really wants it. And we did a little bit of a try on with it earlier. That neckline, I'm just saying, you know, it's going to be fine. I was joking with him. I might get that boyfriend sweater after all because it looks amazing. And I think I might steal it. You know, he doesn't like it when I call it a boyfriend sweater. I'm like, why not? You're my boyfriend. You know, so there you have it. He's my boyfriend. He's my husband. He's my friend. He's my lover. He has a lot of roles. He just does. So there you have it on that one, my project right here. I probably should just cut the yarn and just continue with it and not worry about it. I believe there's going to be plenty to finish that hat without an issue, and to finish up his stuff here. Maybe I'll just cut the yarn, finish this, and then work on the hat once I get it done, just to make sure. I would hate to get so much of it and then realize that I needed just this much more yarn. I have to pull the hat out anyway. So with this, I've got that big neckline here. That's one of those folded over pop-out necklines. And when it's like this, it just looks huge as an understatement. And it always looks wrong to me. I've done this style before and I have issues with it. So I'm hoping that this one will be different and it will be perfect. It will be perfect. So the big shawl collar is going to be that charcoal color that I have on the cuffs and the hem of this. Every 4th round or row, I decrease right here at the neckline, and every other row I am decreasing at that raglan right here. So the rows are getting a little bit shorter, and once, you know, I've got like 260 some odd, 270 something stitches per row. And once I get down to like 80, 70, 80, 90, depending on the size, I don't remember. I got a ways to go. Then I do something else. Then I don't know. But I got to get down to that part. That's my next thing. So I got to do all my decreases that much more. So maybe I'll just cut the yarn, work on that, and do the sweater, or do the hat when I'm ready to do the hat. Yeah, I think that's the route, because there's a lot left on this, and because that's a lot of decreasing and a lot more rows on that. I'm not going to need the full skein, I don't think, but I have it. It's what I have it for. So I just don't want that stress. There you have it. I'm really pleased with how much I got done, and I am so happy to have found that other skein and to have done the finishing work. One of the other things that I don't tend to do that finishing work earlier on, like on this, my Miranda sweater, I've got the same thing. I've got those spots under the arm that need to be sewn up. I think I had it right here too, you know, just those little spots right there, is I might not finish the piece, right? And if I don't finish the piece, trying to unweave that or something along that line, that's a pain in the backside. Trying to cut out that part, because I sew things together very well. And I would be cussing at myself if I tried to unravel that where I tried to sew a seam together. So I kind of wait until I know that it's going to be exactly as I want it to be. So earlier today, I did take the time and did all the ends on here. It's like, no, we're keeping it. I'm not ripping it out. There you go. If it doesn't fit you or you don't like it or you change your mind, that's okay. I'll keep it. Somebody will keep it. We're finishing this. That's what I'm getting at. You know, and for that matter, for the Miranda sweater, I'm happy with what I've got on that. I could easily do the same thing, is to tighten up any of the underarm stitches and finish that off and start weaving in some of the ends. Where I wouldn't do that is where I'm still deciding on whether I want that pouch or not, that small bottom kangaroo thing. That would be the part that would change my mind. But other than that, that's what I have going on. And how many projects do I have up here with this? Look at this. Where'd the other one go? Here we go. Look at these. So these three, this is all big twist. Here's big twist. Here's big twist. I mean, I have 5 projects going on with with the big twist yarn this week. I'm having a blast with all of it. I hope you are too. If you had a chance to get a hold of the sales while they were like massively crazy, enjoy your yarn. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. See what you can make with it. Don't just buy it, collect it. Look at me preaching. Don't just do that. Enjoy it. I'm having a blast with this. Come join me. Tell me what you're making with your stuff. Am I trying to encourage you to buy stuff? No, not at all. But if you've already done so, join me. Join me. Show me what you're making. I need ideas too. That's what I've got with 5 of the different lines. I got more. You've got more too. Let's work on these things together. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be. And I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.